Hello everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be ranking the paranormal activities from worst to best. This is my ranking. If you don't agree with it, it's fine. If you agree with it, thanks. Comment down below your ranking if you watched the movies. So, paranormal activity. We all know what paranormal activity is, right? It doesn't need explanation. Basically, people just record themselves when they sleep. Scary, spooky ghosts happens during the night, during the day, mostly during the night, but yeah, during the night. So I'll just be ranking my worst to best paranormal activity movies. Alright, so the first worst paranormal activity movie is Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. So I think we could all agree this is our worst paranormal activity movie ever, but I think we all have our reasons why it's the worst. First of all, this was very repetitive, same thing like with the nights, night 1, night 2, etc. That just seems repetitive in the franchise. There's CGI ghosts, and I'm honestly not a fan of CGI ghosts. I pretty much prefer if these movies were minimal budget. But this is what happens when you let a franchise have so much budget, I don't know what budget it is, but I just don't like CGI ghosts and anything. I think the movie will look much better without CGI. I love the setting explained, like it's the house that was built on Katie and Christy's childhood home. This camera that they discovered from a box is just not fitting well with me. This is the first Paranormal Activity movie to go to 3D. Unreasonable, I don't know why, but it's just my worst Paranormal Activity movie ever. The characters are annoying. You have no one to root for. It is my top worst Paranormal Activity movie. Next worst Paranormal Activity movie is Paranormal Activity 2. I think this is the Paranormal Activity movie everybody is in love with. We've all loved this Paranormal Activity movie too. This was the first Paranormal Activity movie I've seen. Then I got introduced to the first one. I grew up loving it. I don't know, my opinion just changed. The reason why it's like on the worst because it doesn't feel scary. Everything is repetitive again. Like we get nights, like the same thing, the same shots and everything. Like we don't get straight to the point, like straight to the scares. And the first part of this movie felt boring. Like the scary stuff just happens towards the end of the movie. Like probably I should say like the last 30 or 20 minutes. The first part of this movie is just jump scares and nothing. Just jump scares, ghost activities, funny gags. Like it's not interesting in the first half of this movie. The characters are great. I mean, we at least have like characters to care for, like Christy, the family, the baby. But it's the second worst Paranormal Activity movie in my opinion. Next, third worst of Paranormal Activity is probably Paranormal Activity 3. So I really feel like I should put this like on my top best Paranormal Activity movies, but not. But I feel like I have to. I do like the house in here. I think it looks beautiful. The characters in here, just standard basic family. I love that it takes place in the 80s. I mean, the movie doesn't look like it takes place in the 80s. Like, if you watch the movie looks like it takes place in 2005, but they play it as 1980s. I am glad that this is like a prequel to the whole to the first two movies, where we get introduced to Katie and Christy's backstory. The ending, I think it's great. I love that. You know, I think it's like probably the most entertaining Paranormal Activity movie, but I guess it's gonna go at the number 3 on the chart. Next favorite Paranormal Activity movie is Paranormal Activity, the first one. Now, a lot of people find this movie scary when they were young. I honestly didn't. The ending is what scared me the most, like as a kid, but the whole movie didn't. Like, this was created in a minimal budget, and I love that about horror movies, mostly for found footage genre. However, I think the characters Katie and Mika are great actors. It does feel kind of scary, you know. Probably it's because it's like late 2000s. But you know, I kind of feel like putting this like on number 4 of favorite Paranormal Activity movies. Mika is absolutely such an annoying character. Like, he's such a douche. I don't like him. Like, this movie, you only have one character to root for, and that character is Katie. Like, I'm sorry, Mika dies in the end. He 100% deserves it. But it's my top 4 favorite Paranormal Activity movie. My top 5 Paranormal Activity movie is Paranormal Activity 4. Now, I think this one is probably the most fun Paranormal Activity movie for me. It's a teen horror. There's the Xbox Connect feature in here that kind of like, you know, it's pretty weird and annoying to watch, but kind of creepy, you know. I love that. I mean, we still get the night 1, night 2, and it's repetitive and everything. I know that, right? But this movie also feels like the computer camera, and like I mentioned, the Xbox Connect feature. Like, I think this movie probably has like a good upgrade of cameras, and the characters in here are pretty annoying. There's no one here to root for. You just want them all to die, which, you know, they do so. I don't know, but I think this one is probably like mostly entertaining, and it's gonna go on my top 5 of my favorite Paranormal Activity movies. Next, top 6 favorite Paranormal Activity movies is Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. Now, I feel like this one should be my very first top favorite Paranormal Activity, but I think this one, it's gonna go on number 2. I love this one so much. It doesn't take place in a upper high rich family house. This one takes place like in a Latino community. We don't get night features in here like night 1, night 2. We don't get that in this movie like throughout the whole movie, and that's what I love. It's like a change to the franchise. It's like delivering something different than the first 4 movies. This movie also features time travel, which is kind of cool, because in the end we like travel from this movie to the first movie. But I feel like in this movie you have more places and more stuff to explore in, like more kinds of possession, more scary elements, which the scary elements in here are good and they're very frightening. and I think it is probably effective. The characters in here are average. I mean, they're okay. They could be likable, but I could root for them. But it's my second favorite Paranormal Activity movie. And now for my top one favorite Paranormal Activity movie that you've all been waiting for. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. So I don't know if the Marked Ones and Next of Kin are spin-offs or are they actually canon to the franchise, but I really don't know. Someone needs to explain that to me. I'm not gonna explain it, but I think Next of Kin is probably like a big change to the franchise. We don't take place in a Latino community, an upper white rich neighborhood. We take place in like a small village. The setting is absolutely great. The scary elements are very good in this movie. I think this one is probably like the best at showing more scary features. I think, but the ending is probably like the scariest part of this movie. Like, I love the ending so much. I love that this is a mockumentary. But yeah, I kind of find this movie scary throughout the whole entire movie. Scary features, scary elements, a big change to the franchise. Probably more adventurous and more scarier than all the other Paranormal Activity movies. So yeah, Next of Kin is probably my top one favorite Paranormal Activity movie. So that's all for my ranking on Paranormal Activity movies. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to, it's optional. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.